Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie. I'm a 32-year-old zero-based cashless budgeter and stuffer, and today we're going to be unstuffing my envelopes for the first week of August. So if you're new here, I get paid through PayPal. I do all my transactions on my PayPal debit card, and this is just pulling the money out of my envelopes so that they match what is in my envelopes online. So you can see we have a lot of transactions this week. I spent a good amount of money. I had some things that came up that I wasn't expecting and some things that I was expecting. So let's just go ahead and dive on into my variable expenses and get going with pulling this money out. So first envelope we're going to go to is Crochet by Jamie. We had two transactions. One was a $9 Etsy fee and the other one was $18 at Michael's. So I run an Etsy business called Crochet by Jamie. If you didn't know that, I try to remember to post the link in my description of every video. And I have to pay for advertising fees on Etsy. So that was $9 this month after my sales. And then I bought more yarn at Michael's for $18. So we're going to pull a total of $27 out of this envelope this week. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 27. And that leaves us with $3 in the envelope. And I shouldn't need to buy any yarn for a while, so this will just be saving back up for my Etsy fees for the month of August. So let's go ahead and highlight those. All right. Up next, we're going to go into gas. I had two transactions for gas. I filled up for $27 and then I filled up for $32. So that is a total of $59. So 50, let's see. I want to trade no, I don't want to do that. I want to trade a 5 for 2 2s and a 1. And then we're pulling 55, 7, and 9, which is going to leave 50, 70, 90, 110, 111, 12, 113 for the week. I do have to drive out to Ohio next week. I do still have, or next week, tomorrow. I still have pretty much a full tank of gas, so that will be enough to get me to Ohio and back. And then I am planning on going to my friend's house. He lives about an hour away, so I will need to fill up again before I go. So I'm going to use at least 2 full tanks of gas this week. So what was that, 113, 111? That should be plenty of money for that. Okay. Up next we have groceries. I did finally do my grocery shopping. I spent $43 at Aldi. I bought 2 full bags worth of groceries, which is nice that was only $43. But so we're taking out 20, 40, 42, and 43, and I have $25 left in groceries, which is nice to actually have a good amount of money left over in case I do need to buy any snacks or anything for the next week. But I have 2 meals left. I don't have to pay for my lunch tomorrow, and then I will do my meal prep when I get home tomorrow night. So I will have a whole new set of meals to last me for at least the next week, maybe the next 2 weeks. Then I'll just need like yogurt and fruit, produce, stuff like that. So $25 should be good. Prescriptions, I did pick up one of my prescriptions. It costs $10, so we're going to take out 10, and we have $10 left in prescriptions. That prescription is picked up monthly, and then my other prescriptions that I need to pay for are picked up every 3 months. So I do not have anything that will be getting picked up anytime soon. So we'll be able to fill this back up to $30 before we need to do the next unstuffing there. All right, spending. I'm going to have an IOU in spending. So let me just grab, both of them are written on. So let me erase real quick. That is a loud truck. Okay, so vending, I spent all of my spending money at the vending machine and then some. So I spent $7 on the 29th, And then I spent $2 on the 30th. So that is those two. And then I have one more spending transaction. That was for another $7. So our IOU is going to be for $7. Give us a little shake. Actually, let me highlight. And then we'll give it a little shake, just make sure it's actually dry, because it's these wet or dry erase, what are they, wet erase markers take a minute to dry. All right, this should be good. And then sweet treats we don't need to pull out of because I did not spend any money while I was door dashing for this week. So that is it for my variable expenses. That is most of my transactions, but we do have a couple to pull out of my other binders. So we're going to go into my high priority binder. We're going to go into car costs. I lost one of my, like the caps that goes on your tire, you know, whenever you take it off to check your tire pressure. I lost that cap. I don't know if we stole the cap or if it just like vibrated its way off, but the way that it's screwed on, I have to assume that somebody stole it, because how does that just fall off? But then why would somebody steal it? But either way, I had to buy a new set and they cost $4 at AutoZone. So we're taking out $4. So $4, 2, 4. And we should have $400 left in here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 50, 70, 80, 95, 97, 99, 400. Not what I expected to spend money on this week. Didn't think I would lose any part of my car. But I did. This is going to be a little bit of a tangent, so if you want to skip ahead just for the unstuffing, you can. But on my way home from work today, there was a high-speed chase on the highway, and it was right behind me, and then it came up right beside me. So if these are like the two lanes, I'm here. There's no shoulder on this part of the highway, so I'm in the left lane because I'm passing, and there's a car in the right lane because they're driving slower than me. And a car comes up immediately between us. So I almost got hit, but I can't pull over because there's no shoulder. And when I say there's no shoulder, I mean the shoulder is literally maybe a foot wide. There's a Jersey barrier in the middle. On the right-hand side, there's maybe a foot wide shoulder. There's no shoulder on this part of the highway. So I can't go anywhere. I can't slow down because there's a car behind me. I could speed up, but there's a high-speed chase happening, so I'm not going to speed up. But the car goes right past me, and then the cop comes up behind me and squeezes in between me and the other car, and then the car on the right-hand side pulls off to exit. There's a bridge on the right-hand side, so they pulled off to exit. And there was a cop behind the second cop car, so they also started to squeeze between us, but they had pulled over, and actually the car that they were chasing had pulled over to go up onto the bridge as well. And that car, the car that was fleeing, hit a car on the bridge, like to go to the turn of the bridge. They hit the car and got wedged. I think I couldn't really see once I got past it, but I think that they got wedged between the car that they hit and the wall of the bridge. Because there was another cop that was coming the wrong way up the highway to get onto the bridge, the other way to block them. And whenever I got past the bridge, I could see my rear view mirrors that none of the cops were like going anywhere. So I think that the guy who was like running got stuck, but I almost got hit in a high-speed car chase on my way home from work today, which was not what I expected. So my day's been a little bit thrown for a loop. Yeah, I was supposed to go to the gym after work, but I was feeling a little shook, quite unsettled. So I decided not to. I just did my grocery shopping, came home, and I'm trying to relax, but that was scary. So I haven't been able to really relax. I've been still worked up about it, but hopefully it, chills soon. But yeah, so that was my day. But luckily the only car costs I had for the week were those caps, and not a whole new car repair or yet another claim of my insurance in the past year, because since December I've had 3 claims on my insurance, 2 for my house and 1 for my car. So I know my insurance agency is sick of hearing from me, and I'm glad I didn't have to call them today. But that's what's happening in Pittsburgh. We're getting into some chaos here. But anyway, back to the unstuffing. So next we're going to pull from festivals. So I had my final payment for Dance Festopia came out this week, and it was $45. So I should have $190 left in here. So I'm going to take, what am I going to take? I want to condense this down a little bit. So I'm going to take all the small bills. So we're going to do 10, 20, 30, 5, 45. And we should have 190 left in here. So we have 150, 70, 190. And this is now just saving up for actually going to my festival. So I have one the week of Labor Day. It is from Wednesday to Sunday. So I will leave my house I leave from work on Tuesday, and I'll be back on Monday. And then the one after that is 2 weeks later I'm going from Thursday through Sunday. So I'll leave my house Wednesday at like midnight and come back on Sunday or on Monday. But that one's in Ohio. The other one is in Kansas. So I will need a hotel on my way out to Kansas. So I'm planning on staying in Indianapolis. I have not looked at how much a hotel costs, but so I'll need to cover a hotel, I'll need to cover gas, and then I'll need to cover food, drink, and if I buy any merch while I'm out there. And that is what I'm saving up for in my festivals envelope right now. All right, so that is all we're going to be pulling from my high priority binder, because we have moved hair back into the low priority binder. So let's find hair and lashes. And we are pulling out $205 for my hair itself, and then I had to pay $4 for parking. So total of $209. So let me, oh God. Okay, so here's 4. Here's 9. So then I need 200. 1, 2, 3, 4. 40. That's 50. Okay. Yes, this should be 200. So 150, 60, 70, 80, 95, 200. Just to condense down a little bit so that my envelopes aren't quite as thick before the condensing. And then we are not going to count what's left in here until we do the condensing. All right. So that is everything that we need to pull out from this week. Quite a few transactions, but hopefully next week we'll calm down. So let's see how much money should be in the tray. Quite a bit. $415. But we actually have that IOU, so really $408 is what should be in this tray. This is a thick stack of money. All right, so we have 100, 51, 20, 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. I'm off by $2. Maybe, did I just add this up wrong? $4.15. And then my IOU was 7, right? IOU 7 minus 7 is 408. So that was 100. That was 100. That was 40. Oops. Eight. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 65. What? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. Something has gone very wrong here. So 100 plus 100 plus 40 plus 80 plus 65. Okay, back on track. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 1, 2, 3. It's 406. So I'm off by $2 somehow. I'm not sure how. If you know what happened, leave a comment down below. Let me know what I did wrong. Yeah, I don't get it. But we're gonna just move on. This is all prop money, so it doesn't really matter if I'm off by $2. I'll catch it eventually. But we're just gonna go into my roundup challenge and add our money there. This also does need updated. I looked at my balance and it does not match what it should, or what's in the envelope. So I'm gonna have to fix that at some point. But for now, we're just gonna plow ahead and pretend like it's right. So I have obviously a ton of change from my purchases. I also got my interest payout, which was $20.85. And I got an Atlas Earth payout. Oops. I messed up. That's what I get for talking. Okay, so I also got an Atlas Earth payout, which was $5. So $31.73 is what we're adding for this week. My friend just texted me an update about the high-speed chase, so I'm gonna have to read that as soon as I'm done recording. I need to know what was going on there. All right, so we're adding $32. So we're gonna color in 3 circles. And adding 30, so 20, 30, and 2. So we should have $58 in here. So 20, 40, 55, 57, $58. And that is, for now, correct. I will, luckily my tracker is full, so I will update that with the correct number whenever I erase and restart. But that is going to be it for this video. If you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you saw what happened with that $2, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, You can leave me a comment about anything that you would like. Have you ever seen a high-speed chase in real life before? Because that was my first one. I hope you haven't. It was scary. But please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you on Monday for my budget with me.